Tanya.
Sure.
Jesse was talking about people with their, that have their priorities straight. And, when I know somebody's supporting Ron Paul and they understand the issues, it's not difficult to figure out whether or not somebody's got their priorities straight. It's just, this is the campaign of self-responsibility. And this is Tanya. Tanya is the first person that ever handed me a Constitution. So she's known around the area as the Constitution lady. She wants you all to read it, so if you haven't read it, she'll hold you to it. So let's give a welcome for Tanya.
Everything I came to talk to you about. And I've got notes in the column. I've got a little book that I can't get it all written down. There's just no way in the world. It's like it's within my soul. And I think that's probably what's going on with everybody here is that there's like these deep, unexplainable things in your soul going on with my heart. For me, it's been a spiritual journey. I can't describe it to you any other way than spiritually because that's the way my mind and my heart filters things. One of the things that I say a lot of because, like I said, I don't have this step by step. I'm just kind of speaking from my heart. A long time ago, there was this story told. You guys familiar with paradigms and what paradigms mean? I mean, most of everybody in here is. But there was this cute little story that, for maybe what I'm trying to tell you is some of the ways that you can reach some people in South Carolina. And one of the stories was the paradigm story of the pig. Has anybody ever heard this story about the paradigm story of the pig? There was a fellow named Bob, and he was driving around a mountainous, curvy road. And he was coming on a corner when he passed another fellow who hollered out the window, "Pig!" And so Bob gets really bent out of shape and starts to cuss the guy out. He goes around the corner and runs smack into a pig. Okay, so what we're doing is we're out there hollering, "Pig!" And people are not liking that very much. And we're shattering their paradigms. So you kind of have to try to figure out how to kill a pig at everybody without running them off. Ed and I talked about this before. There's a passage in Ezekiel 33, and it talks about the watchman's duties. It's really hardcore. It tells you, if you know anything about a watchman, everybody else can go lay down and go to sleep, because the watchman's going to be on guard, right? And he's going to blow the trumpet whenever there's danger. Well, we're all watchmen. We're blowing our trumpets. It's 2 minutes to midnight. We're blowing our trumpets. Who wants to be awakened at 2 minutes to midnight? They're not really happy about it. The only way that I can deal with the people that I'm trying to deal with, like I said, is spirituality. And so I have brought scads and scads of scripture for you that back up everything that's going on with Ron Paul. Everything that's going on in our country. I have literally touched the third rail in South Carolina. I am the GOP, executive committee woman, Catholic, town hall, and I've had enough of it. And these little straw that breaks the camel's back, it can be something so simple. And I'd like to read to you, if you can hang with this, because again, I'm a stream of consciousness author as well as speaker. I responded to a GOP statement, and here was the statement that was sent out to everyone in South Carolina GOP. And this is in quotes. Many of the polls are picking Ron Paul to win the Iowa caucus. Now, I agree with Ron Paul's view that the federal government is way too involved in our everyday lives. But I believe my youngest grandson, who is completely engrossed in Colorado youth hockey, has a better grip on foreign policy than does Ron Paul. Let's get serious. Pull all our troops out of South Korea, especially with the death of Jong Il Kim, and then he goes into how the names are backwards there. And the prospect of North Korea doing something incredibly stupid in a power struggle and forget about Iran obtaining a nuclear weapon. As I have said in the past, in the long haul, Ron Paul is goofy. This is the paragraph right here. And after everything that I've heard over 4 or 5 years, Ron Paul is goofy is probably the least, excitable thing. But for some reason, I tore off the strip. Here's what I wrote back. And actually, when I wrote this, I didn't realize that in the coffee line was Governor Haley, Trey Downing, our Sheriff Chuck Wright. It goes on. Okay, heavyweights in the GOP. So I want you to know, when you hear this, they've been told. Okay? First thing I gave them was 2 Thessalonians 2, 10 through 11. Now, you have to understand, if you've read the entire Bible, contextually, there's a lot of things you walk away with contextually. But you can't just say, la, 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 la. You have to understand the context for it to make sense, okay? And God goes on and on and on, particularly in Proverbs and stuff, explaining to people about how you think you're so wise, but you're really a fool, okay? And this is kind of following that up. It says 2 Thessalonians 2, 10 through 11. And with all the deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of truth, that they might be saved. And for this cause, okay, for not loving truth, God shall send them strong delusion that they should believe a lie. Are you not seeing that today? All these people that say that they're Christians and they're walking around saying, we must kill, we must destroy. And it just does not match. Okay? And so after then I wrote that about this fellow making this commentary. I said, in the current day of war is peace, freedom is slavery, and ignorance is strength. And then I referred them to 1984 and the term double think. Would it not be prudent to examine our own preemptive and aggressive nature? I ask you this. When, since Jesus, has God instructed anyone to go about slaying the enemy? You take it? Yeah. In fact, in Matthew 5:44 and 45, it says, but I say unto you, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you, that ye may be the children of your Father which is in heaven. For he maketh his sun to rise on the evil and on the good, and sendeth rain on the just and the unjust. And then again in Proverbs 25, 21 through 22, it says, if thine enemy be hungry, give him bread to eat, and if he be thirsty, give him water to drink. And then I actually asked it in big, bold black letters, are y'all reading the same Bible that I'm reading? Because I don't have copies. Proverbs 14:12 says, there is a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. For it is written, I will destroy the wisdom of the wise, and will bring to nothing the understanding of the prudent. Are you seeing that right now? All these prudent people, their understanding is nothing. Where is the wise? Where is the scribe? Where is the disputer of this world? Ron Paul is a disputer of this world. For the wisdom, in 1 Corinthians 3:19 says, for the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God, for it is written, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness. So that's what's happening with the strong delusion. He's taking the wise people in their own craftiness. He's turning them around. How is it that we Christians no longer understand the teachings of Jesus Christ? You know a tree by the fruit it bears, and Ron Paul bears good fruits. Amen. Yeah. Examine Galatians 5:22 through 26. The instructions are right here in the book. It's not too hard to figure it out. The fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law. And they that are Christ have crucified the flesh with affections and lusts. If we live in the Spirit, let us also walk in the Spirit. Ron Paul walks in the Spirit. Listen what I just said. Love, joy, peace, long-suffering. He should get a crown of long-suffering. 1 John 4:18, and this is where you get them. You remember this one. There is no fear in love, because fear hath torment. Perfect love casteth out fear. He that feareth is not made perfect in love. So if you've got all these Christians running around saying, oh, they're going to kill us. They're going to kill us because they hate our freedoms. They're not made perfect in love. I mean, they need to recognize that, because they're fraudulently going around saying that they're Christians and that they're Christ's disciple and an ambassador of Christ, and they're not, if they're fearful. Now, everybody does have these certain fears, of course, but have you ever noticed how the things that you sit around and you fear and you whip up in your mind, they never come to fruition? It's always something crazy that comes out of nowhere and bites you in the butt. So why sit around and fear? You know, this is something that these people are tending towards, is fear. You know, Jesus never used the word but to excuse himself from the law. He used the word but, to further describe something, but never as an excuse. I challenge you to look it up. Blessed are the peacemakers, but you're not going to find that. He never used but as an excuse. When I hear Rick Santorum, when I hear Michelle Bachman, when I hear all these Christians, you know, blessed are the peacemakers, but is what I'm hearing them say. You know, we love everybody, but we have to kill them for our own good. For our own survival. I mean, it blows my mind. And so then I told them, following up, I gave them a video of Michelle, or a link to Michelle Bachman from PolitiFact about Michelle Bachman says Iran has threatened to launch a nuclear attack against Israel and the United States. False. And I showed them where PolitiFact had found that it's entirely false. I gave them Ron Paul Explains. He is pro-Israel. You like Ron Paul, except on foreign policy. That's a really, really good one. And then this one, many of you may not have seen this, but I would encourage you to go look at it. It's Isaac and Ishmael meet. President Ahmadinejad, which I call him a dinner jacket because it's easier for me to say. So President Ahmadinejad meets, I don't know how you say this, Nuturi Karta rabbis. Has anybody seen this video when he came to New York and he met with a group of rabbis in New York? It will blow your mind. They actually sit at the same table together and revere each other and talk about how we need to let the world know that we're together again. Did you see that on the link? So I followed up, finished the letter with, I pray that you all shore yourselves up, dispense with fear, and clean the cobwebs out of this collective, kill them before they kill us ideology. Technically, war is always considered racism. Think about it. You know, they're all so big, GOP is so big on, trying to make sure that they keep this racism thing out the door and away from touching them, while the whole time they're behind government-sponsored racism. They don't mind that one bit. I find that also a lot with the GOP, where they complain about the left begging for the government to give them something. But doesn't the GOP beg the government to control those that they're not comfortable with? I mean, it's the same type thing, it's just using a different tool. Every empire in history has ended by spreading themselves too thin and thinking they run the world, essentially bankrupting themselves. This is exactly what bin Laden had in mind for us, destroying ourselves from the inside out of fear. Just check history. Afghanistan brought down the Soviet Union. And I thought, finish it up with, wake up, Freddy Cats. I didn't get one response. I've been sending these people emails since my second term, since 4 years. Rarely does anybody ever reply to me. And I can't figure that out. Well, you good GOP people, you do respond to. I have tons and tons and tons of scripture. What I can tell you, how Ron Paul changed my mind in so many ways. I have, since Ron Paul came into my life, I've studied my history here. I went down and I memorized the Daniel Morgan statue down on I could go on all night. I told Evan, I said, you're going to have to bring a hook to drag me on the stage, because I could just keep going on and on and on. But I would encourage you just to keep going and to plant seeds. A lot of the times with these folks, you just have to plant a seed and you have to pray over it and go on and just hope that you've done the best that you can. And a lot of the times you will get some people that are very rattled and you know that they're going away processing. And like Ron Paul said, it's not about him, it's about his ideas. And we want to make sure that we're getting people thinking towards liberty. So if you guys have any questions or if there's anything that I can help you with, just let me know. Littlejohn